my book and wax friends. I'm Amber. Welcome to my channel and to my series that I call What's in the Book Bag. This is my library hauls for the various months that I'm in. So this haul is for February. And yeah, this month is going to be all about kind of romance type of books. Well, I have fantasy as well, but you know, it's Valentine's in February. And so I kind of wanted to pick up those feel-good, Valentine-y, romance, fantasy romance type of stories. So stay tuned for my TBR. And yeah, so let's jump into it. Let's see what we have. I think I have like 8 books. Yeah, I think there's 8. So I'm going to grab from, so I use a Bath and Body Works bag for my book bag, for my library book bag, because number 1 is heavy duty, and number 2, it does hold a lot of books. So I enjoy using that as my book bag. Definitely holds more than some of the book bags that are out there. So might as well put it to good use. Okay, the first book I have to share is called Is She Really Going Out with Him? I think this came out in like November. I know I did an anticipated reads for this. I think, like I said, I think it was November. Let's see, or October. Yeah, I won't say. It just says 2024. So 2024, this came out. And it's by Sophie Cousins. I have never read a book by Sophie Cousins, but it does have blurbs by Ashley Poston, so that gives me some hopeful vibes for sure. So this is columnist Anna Appleby has left her love life behind after a painful divorce. Who needs a man when she has 2 kids, a cat, and uncontested control of the TV remote? Besides, she'd rather be single than subject herself to the hell of online dating. But her office rival is vying for her column, and no column means no stable source of income. In a desperate attempt to keep her job, Anna finds herself pitching a unique angle. 7 dates, all found offline, chosen by her children. So it seems like it'll be a fun time for sure. So that is She Really Going Out with Him? Okay, the next book actually is not any of those things that I just talked about. Romantic, I guess fantasy, but it's a middle grade fantasy. And this is part of my top 25 reads for 2025. And I put it in my request for the library for a hold, and thinking it would be ready in March for middle grade March, which I'm planning on doing a few middle grade books then. And it came already. But I didn't want to not get it because then I'll probably have to wait again and it won't be ready for March. So I might end up reading it in February this month, but maybe not. Maybe, hopefully I can renew it to where I can read it once it's March, but we'll see. Anyway, so it is Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rundell. And like I said, this is a middle grade book, and this looks like, oh my gosh, and it even has a map. I'm always a sucker for a book that has a map. Usually it means good things when there's a book with a map. So I've heard really good things about this book. It was the best middle grade. It got the best middle grade award for Barnes and Noble, I think. And yeah, so the day that Christopher rescued a drowning baby griffin from a hidden lake would change his life forever. It's the day he learned about the archipelago, or however you say that, Pelago, yeah. A cluster of unmapped islands where magical creatures of every kind have thrived for thousands of years until now. And it's the day he met Mal, a girl on the run in desperate need of his help. Mal and Christopher embark on a wild adventure, racing from island to island, searching for someone who can explain why the magic is fading and why magical creatures are suddenly dying. So I've heard, like I said, I've heard really good things. And so maybe I'll get to it in February. If not, hopefully I can renew it so I can read it in March when I was planning on reading it. Okay, this one I've shared before in past library hauls, but I never got around to finishing it and I had to return it. So I got through like the first chapter before, but the title of the actual series is called The War of Lost Hearts trilogy. So I had to get it. February, Valentine's, Hearts. It makes sense in my head. So Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. And I did like the couple chapters that I read the prior time I was reading it. It's just I ran out of time and so I had to return it. I had other books that were more of a priority at that point. So this is about, I know, a girl who is a slave or indentured servant or slave. I'm not sure exactly what. Yeah, I think she was like, got promised if she saved up enough money, she could free herself. So she was a slave, kind of more like an indentured servant. I don't know. Anyway, so she saves up the money, and what's her name? Tisana, something like that. She saves up the money to free herself from the guy that she's a slave to, and then things go awry and she ends up fleeing and ends up in this other part of the country or a different part of the country. I can't remember for sure. And where she tries to find safety, and she ends up getting, I think, trained by them. And I think there's like magic. Like I said, I only read a couple chapters the last time I was reading it, but I have heard really good things about this whole series. I've heard that the main male character in it is one of those really swoony main male characters, but not in the normal sense of the word. So I'm excited to see where this goes. So that is Daughter of No Worlds. Okay, the next one is a cozy fantasy. It is called A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. This is Ardenshire Book 1 by J. Penner. And this one is a human, a dwarf, and an elf walk into a bake-off in the heart of Ardenshire, where elfish enchantments and dwarven delights rule. Arletta Starstone, a human confectionist, works twice as hard, perfecting her unique blend of baking and apothecary herbs. So when an orc neighbor secretly enters her creations into the prestigious elven baking battle, Arletta faces a dilemma. Being magicless, her participation in the competition could draw more scowls than smiles, and if Arletta wants to prove her talent and establish her culinary reputation, this human will need more than just her pastry craft to sweeten the odds. While competing, she'll set off on a journey of mouth-watering pastries, self-discovery, heartwarming friendships, and romance, while questioning whether winning the baking battle is the true prize. So, seems like it'll be fun. I love cozy fantasy books, so I am definitely excited to get to this one. That is A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. Okay, the next one I have is a YA romance. This is by an author I have not read yet either and it is Dungeons and Drama. And just look how adorable this cover is. I mean, if anything screams Valentine's, I think this cover definitely does. It's just the most adorable thing. So this is by Kristen Boyce, or Christy Boyce. And let's see, it is No One Loves Musicals More Than Riley Morris. Her dream is to be a Broadway director, but when the spring show is canceled, Riley has to figure out a way to bring it back. Easier said than done. She's stuck working at her dad's game store, the place that means more to him than his family does. Riley can't waste time at a dead-end job when her entire future is resting on making a name for herself. So she convinces her coworker, Nathan Wheeler, the floppy-haired, glasses-wearing guy she barely knows from school, to help her. In exchange, she'll help him make his gamer girl crush jealous. Plus, it won't hurt to show her egotistical ex, Paul, just what he's missing without her. Soon, Riley and Nathan are a couple, and people seem to believe it. But selling the ruse means joining Nathan's role-playing game. To Riley's surprise, the game is almost fun. And even more surprising, flirting with Nathan doesn't require as much acting as she thought it would. So it's fake. That's one of my all-time favorite tropes, is the fake dating trope. So yeah, seems like it'll be super, super cute. Okay, the next one is this is on my top 25 books to read for 2025 too. It is The Liar's Crown by Abigail Owen. She just came out with a book in 2024, The Games Gods Play. And I put this series, first book in the series anyway, on my 25 for 2025 because it's a completed series, whereas The Games Gods Play is the first book in a series. And I try to at least have 2 books out in a series before I will read them. It doesn't always work, especially if it's an author that is a beloved author for me. But I've never read anything by Abigail Owen, and so I was like, okay, I'll put off that book series, starting that book series, and read one that's finished first. So The Liar's Crown, and it just looks, you know, fantasy Valentine-y. And so I figured February would be a good month to pick this one up. So this is Everything About My Life is a Lie. As a hidden twin princess born second, I have only one purpose: to sacrifice my life for my sister if death comes for her. I've been living under the guise of a poor, obscure girl of no standing, slipping into the palace and into the role of the true princess when danger is present. Now the queen is dead, and the ageless King Eidolon, I think so, has sent my sister a gift, an eerily familiar gift, and a proposal to wed. I don't trust him, so I do what I was born to do and secretly take her place on the eve of the coronation, which is why when a figure made of shadow kidnaps the new queen, he gets me by mistake. As I try to escape, all the lies start to unravel, and not just my lies. The shadow wraith who took me has secrets of his own. He struggles to contain the shadows he wields, other faces, identities that threaten my very life. Winter is at the walls, darkness is looming, and the only way to save my sister and our dominion is to kill Eidolon and the shadow wraith who has stolen my heart. So, yep, fantasy romance will work perfectly in February. Okay, and then the last one. I know I've had this one before as well, but I never got to it before I had to return it. It is Abby Jimenez, Yours Truly. This is not on my 25 for 2025, but Just for the Summer is, and that's the 3rd book in the series. So I wanted to at least read this one. I didn't read the first one, Part of Your World. I ended up DNFing it. But I did want to read this one. And so this one is about Dr. Brianna Ortiz's life is seriously flatlining. Her divorce is just about finalized. Her brother's running out of time to find a kidney donor. And that promotion she wants, oh, that's probably going to the new man doctor who's already registering 80-7 on Brianna's pain in my booty scale. But just when all systems are set to hate, Dr. Jacob Maddox completely flips the game by sending Brianna a letter, and it's a really good letter, like the kind that proves that Jacob isn't actually Satan. Worse, he might be this fantastically funny and subversively likable guy who's terrible at first impressions. So it seems like it'll be really cute. I ended up DNFing the first book because it was the whole one-night stand trope, and I'm not a big fan of that personally. So That's why I was like, well, I'll give up on reading that one, but I'll start with the second one because they are interconnected, I've heard, but you're not gonna not understand what's happening in the other books if you don't read the others in the series. But like I said, I wanted to at least read this one before, just for the summer. So anyway, that is it. That is my February what's in the book bag. So I will have, like I said, a TBR going up soon so we can see what goodies we get for the reading month of February. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Have you read any of these books? Which ones do you think I will like? Which ones do you think I should make a priority? Yeah, let me know down in the comments, or just say hi. I'm always a fan of any sort of comments. So thank you for spending some time with me. Please like and subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.